I'm excited about this.
That's me. Go to the bed.
I think you know the answer.
How are you? What's up, bro?
The name Kendall until I turned like 16, and then I realized it was very unique, and I liked how unique it was.
And that's exactly why the story of Bad Bunny and Kendall Jenner was never just about romance. It was about positioning, influence, and silent financial expansion. To the public, Bad Bunny and Kendall Jenner's relationship was a heavily guarded secret. There were glimpses here and there. A discreet dinner in Beverly Hills, a late-night SUV leaving a private club, a quick shot of them sitting courtside at an NBA game. Nothing too loud, nothing too dramatic. But behind closed doors, their jet-set lifestyle was a calculated masterclass in quiet luxury, private aviation, and elite corporate partnerships. They weren't oversharing. They weren't chasing headlines. They were controlling visibility. And in elite circles, controlling visibility is more powerful than chasing attention. Before we even talk about private jets and Paris hotel suites, we need to understand Benito. Benito Antonio Martinez Ocasio wasn't born into celebrity royalty. He didn't grow up inside Hollywood circles. He was working in a grocery store in Puerto Rico while uploading songs to SoundCloud. No powerful industry father, no billionaire connections. Just timing, talent, and an understanding of digital culture. When streaming platforms exploded, Benito was ready. Instead of trying to cross over into English too early, he dominated Latin markets globally. He turned authenticity into leverage. And by the time American media fully understood his influence, he was already breaking records. By 2022, Bad Bunny wasn't just popular. He was statistically dominant. His world's hottest tour grossed over $400 million. Stadiums across the world sold out. He became one of the most streamed artists globally, not just in Latin categories, but across all genres. That level of revenue doesn't just make you rich, it gives you negotiation power. It allows you to demand ownership percentages. It allows you to build infrastructure instead of just collecting checks. Quietly, Benito was transitioning from artist to asset. And that's an important difference. Then enters Kendall Jenner. And to understand the scale of this relationship, you need to understand her position beyond reality television headlines. Kendall wasn't just another influencer. She had spent years building credibility inside the highest levels of the fashion industry, walking for Chanel, Prada, Givenchy, Versace. Campaign deals worth millions, consistently ranked among the highest paid models in the world. But the real power wasn't just in modeling fees, it was in proximity. Luxury conglomerates like LVMH and Kering don't just hire faces, they build long-term alliances. Being inside that ecosystem means being 1 degree away from billion-dollar boardrooms. And then came 818 Tequila. Celebrity alcohol brands have become one of the fastest ways for stars to convert fame into equity. But not all brands scale the same. 818 entered premium distribution channels quickly. It wasn't positioned as a gimmick, it was positioned as aspirational lifestyle branding. Within a short time, analysts were estimating valuations in the hundreds of millions. That's ownership wealth. That's long-term compounding capital.
Jesus, right?
We proceeded to go out into the parking lot of the hotel and run routes with Dan Marino.
So when Benito and Kendall began appearing together, it wasn't just musician meets model, it was streaming empire meets fashion and alcohol equity machine. To the public, Bad Bunny and Kendall Jenner's relationship was a heavily guarded secret. But behind closed doors, their jet-set lifestyle was a calculated masterclass in quiet luxury, private aviation, and elite corporate partnerships. Notice how controlled everything felt. No chaotic social media confessions, no messy interview overshares, just subtle sightings, oversized neutral outfits, private entrances, strategic appearances. Quiet luxury is not about showing wealth loudly. It's about signaling to those who understand. In elite circles, subtlety equals status. Let's talk about mobility, because mobility at this level equals power. A Gulfstream G650 costs around $60 to $70 million to purchase. Chartering one can cost $10,000 to $15,000 per hour. A round trip from Los Angeles to Paris can exceed $250,000 when you include crew, fuel, and landing fees. But private jets aren't about champagne selfies. They're about time compression. When your life operates across multiple continents, commercial travel becomes a liability. Private aviation allows control. It allows privacy. It allows conversations mid-air that never reach tabloids. Every flight becomes a moving boardroom. Courtside NBA seats are not random entertainment purchases. Those seats are owned by team owners, tech founders, hedge fund managers, and corporate executives. Visibility in those seats signals entry into elite networks. When cameras pan across courtside celebrities, they aren't just showing who's watching the game. They're showing who belongs in that economic tier. Paris adds another layer. Paris Fashion Week isn't just about runway looks. It's where contracts are discussed. It's where ambassadors are chosen. It's where luxury houses analyze global influence metrics. A presidential suite at the Ritz Paris or the Four Seasons George V can cost between $15,000 and $25,000 per night. But what you're really paying for is access. The lobby alone can feel like a billion-dollar networking event. CEOs, editors, designers, investors, all circulating in the same controlled luxury ecosystem. One dinner in that environment can lead to multi-year brand partnerships. Now think about the cultural math. Bad Bunny dominates Latin streaming markets. Kendall dominates Western high fashion. When those audiences overlap, global brands see expansion potential. Luxury houses want deeper penetration into Latin America. Latin audiences crave representation in elite fashion spaces. Benito becomes a bridge, and bridges are extremely valuable. He didn't change his identity to enter those rooms. He carried his identity into them. That's cultural leverage. Because when the biggest Latin artist in the world dates the highest paid model on the planet, they don't just go on normal dates. They merge two massive empires into a $1 billion luxury brand. Every appearance together increased cross-audience exposure. Every photo generated search spikes. Luxury brands track those analytics obsessively. When two global icons align, consumer behavior shifts, even subtly. And subtle shifts at that level translate into millions. What makes this story powerful isn't just money, it's perception. Before this relationship, Benito was already massive in music. But culturally, he was still categorized primarily as a Latin superstar. After entering elite Western fashion spaces publicly alongside Kendall, his perception expanded. He became normalized inside billionaire-adjacent environments, and normalization changes long-term valuation. When you belong in certain rooms consistently, future partnerships become easier. Album sales alone don't create billionaires. Ownership does. Music catalog rights, equity in brands, production companies, real estate portfolios, strategic perception alignment. The Kardashian-Jenner ecosystem is deeply connected to venture capital networks, private equity relationships, and global media influence. Being integrated into that network, even temporarily, shifts your exposure to opportunity. Not because someone hands you money, but because you're now inside conversations. Even if the public romance cool, the impact didn't disappear. Image evolution remains. Benito is now perceived not just as a chart-topping artist, but as a global luxury figure. That perception influences negotiations, brand partnerships, and cross-industry leverage. It influences how European fashion houses view him. It influences how American corporations evaluate him. Perception compounds over time. from courtside NBA seats and $10,000 a night hotel suites in Paris, to secretly controlling the global fashion market. This wasn't just dating, it was ecosystem alignment. It was a silent campaign of elevation. Hollywood's most expensive romance wasn't expensive because of jewelry or gifts. It was expensive because of proximity, because of strategic presence, because of integration into billion-dollar infrastructures. And that's why this story matters. In trillionaire lifestyles, emotions may be real, but positioning is always calculated. At the highest levels of fame, love, and leverage often move together. Benito didn't just experience a high-profile relationship. He experienced acceleration into elite financial ecosystems. He didn't just trend, he transitioned. He may not officially hold billionaire status yet, but he now operates in spaces where billionaires are built. And once you operate in those spaces consistently, the path changes. The scale changes, the ceiling rises. Because when the biggest Latin artist in the world dates the highest paid model on the planet, they don't just go on normal dates. They merge two massive empires into a $1 billion luxury brand. And in Hollywood's trillionaire class, even romance can function like infrastructure. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the hidden world of elite celebrity empires, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next breakdown.